Hey, this is Jillian Johnsrud. Thank you so much for showing up for this lesson. I'm really excited about it. This is one of the ideas I talk to my mentoring clients about all the time. It's really central to the work that we do. And it's the idea of there's recipes for success. Whatever, like we talked about in the other lessons, whatever success looks like for you. Now, this really is going to build on the be, have, do lesson we talked about, the ideal day, the superpowers. We're going to take all of that work that you've done and start to tease out what the ingredients are for these recipes that are very specific to you. So if you didn't do that work, it's okay, go back. Get it done now, watch those videos, but we're going to talk about the recipe for success. And it operates on this basic premise that in our superpowers, in our passions, our natural skill sets, the things that create flow, in our ideal lifestyle, in the things that we want to be or have or do, there are ingredients to that. And I think about them like food ingredients in a recipe, and they're specific to each of us. And they're kind of innate to who we are. Somewhere along adolescence or early adulthood, we started to recognize some of these ingredients along the way. And even when we weren't asked, even when it wasn't part of our job, we found a way to kind of squeeze these things in because it was something that we really loved and it was really meaningful to us. So this is also one of my issues with the idea of you have to just find your passion or find your dream job. And I talk a lot about those ideas, but I think there's a disconnect that we have one passion and one very specific dream job. And we have to find our one soulmate. If we don't find this one person out of 5 billion, are out of luck because there's only one. And I don't think that is true. I think that in each of us we have 15 or 20 or 30 different ingredients. And here's the thing with an ingredient. You typically don't want to just use one forever. So if you're like, man, one of my ingredients is teaching. I love teaching. That would be like saying one of my ingredients is chicken and I love chicken. So I'm just going to eat chicken all day, every day for the rest of my life. Pure chicken here on out. Most of us would get bored with that. Most of us like to take a few other ingredients and, maybe make barbecue chicken or fried chicken or chicken stir fry or use it in different ways. And this is something that I think makes sense because I don't know, what if we were born 500 years ago or 1,000 years ago? We had these same ingredients, but we would make different recipes with it. Our life would look different. Our work would look different, but we would bring the same innate skills and talents and passions that we have to the plate, no matter what the recipe looks like. There's a lot of different ways to use chicken. So thinking about these recipes for success under the conclusion, we have 20 different ingredients. The trick to this is not just finding my one passion or my one dream job, but what are the 20 things? And you can pull this from your be, have, do. You can pull this from your ideal day. You can pull it from your superpowers to say, what are the things that need to show up in my life, in different recipes, in different dishes? Because each dish, it might be, maybe this is my work or my recreating. It can hold a lot of different ingredients, Most dishes out there have more than one ingredient. They might have 10 or 15 different things that they pull together that creates a job or that creates a lifestyle. But really thinking about what yours are. And here's what I look for. Showing up as many that are present as possible and in the right proportions. There's things that I love to do, but I love to do it an hour a day. I love working out. I love working out 1 hour a day. I don't love working out 10 hours a day. Maybe you say, I love to travel. Travel is one of my ingredients because I love meeting new people and I love learning new things and challenging myself and being in new situations. But oftentimes people say, I love all of those things. That is 4 of my ingredients. but not realizing that there's 16 other ingredients that need a place. And so they go off and they travel and they get all 4 of those ingredients, and it's great. But eventually, we've had a lot of that ingredients, and we want some more of these other ingredients too. And it's fine, to mix and match. I think about it like a holiday dinner. You have all these different dishes on the table. Because sometimes people ask me, well, do I have to just focus on one? Do I just have to this is my one thing that I do, and this is all I do, and I'm gonna get really, really good at that. And while I think it's helpful to focus, oftentimes we can say this is a thing that I love, and this is a dish that I love, and this is a dish that I love. And I think about it more like synergy. How do we create different dishes, different elements of our work and our life that have synergy with each other? Kind of like a holiday dinner. Some of those things can stand on their own, but it's nice to be able to mix and match. And each plate, well, if you're like me, holiday dinners is not a one plate thing. There are rounds, there are multiple plates that I put together, and each is a little different. And I think about my weeks, my months, my years as a new plate. Okay, I got a new plate. What dishes do I want on my plate this round? And then next month I say, okay, well, I don't want this one. I don't need any more of that right now, but I would love some of this and some of that. And this could look like even combining, this is what I do for work, but this is how we travel. And this is what I do in my free time. And all of this creates synergy together. But it starts by really looking through all the work you've done, figuring out what are your ingredients? Because if you've ever created a dish that is missing a central ingredient, you will realize, there's something missing about this. There's something just not quite right. If you make pumpkin pie and you forget to add the pumpkin pie spice, it's still pumpkin pie, but it's clearly missing something. So figuring out what your ingredients are, figuring out how to combine them into recipes that really make sense, making sure all the ingredients show up. They all show up in the right proportions, and just getting that synergy between the things. And it's not something that I'm you got 20 minutes, you can figure all of this out, but start thinking about it, start teasing out this information and thinking about it more clearly, because just oftentimes there's not one right way to do a recipe. If here are the ingredients I'm working with, there's a couple different ways you can make stuffing. There's a few different ingredients you can put in it. You can do it with celery or no celery. Some people put raisins in this thing. Some people put sage, You have some flexibility using the ingredients that are true for you, using your superpowers, using your ideal life, using your be, have, do. You can craft recipes that really reflect the life you want to have and the life that you'll be successful at. That's why it's recipes for success, because I think that we go farther and we go faster when we stay in our superpower and we focus on the things that we really want to do, which is where we're going in future lessons. So I hope you stay tuned. I hope this is helpful just to start mulling these ideas around so you can really custom build the life that holds all of the ingredients that will really create that meaningful, successful, enjoyable life that you're open to have.